Alright guys, how is it going? Do you have 2 player icons or even more on your screen right now? Amazing, if this is the case. Otherwise, don't worry too much about this. We will have a look into this one together right now. And therefore, let's go. Alright, so here we are back on the smartphone and now let's set up everything. First, let's get out our smartphone and have a look into the application. Not this one, even if it looks absolutely amazing. This one over here. This is our SpacePang application, and here, let's see. Here we're having a world and this one is in player. And now we want to have multiple players on our world. Alrighty? Okay. So let's see. We can close this one for now. Within apps, I got hit, so let's close this application. Okay. So within apps, we've got the SpacePang JDX, this one. Yes, so we worked on this within an Eclipse project. Therefore, let's open Eclipse. Okay, so this is the decompiled code in an Eclipse project over here. And now let's search for this one. So we are looking for create player. And let's see. Let's put this on the bottom. Okay. So game screen, I mean, this sounds exactly what we want to have. Within our game screen, we've got this entity factory create player. And this one is creating a new player and we have to provide this world instance. Okay, let's have a look into this create player function. Oh yeah, we are in Eclipse, therefore we cannot double click. I guess if you're hitting Control and click, yes, then we can see by keeping the Control button pressed, we can see open declaration, implementation, open return type. In our case right now, we want to open the implementation and therefore we have to release this Control key and then we can simply click on this one. Yes, and so here we have it. This one is the implementation of this create player function. This one is a static function and it's returning back an entity. We are providing a world instance over here and here we can see we are also creating in this function over here a position. And let's see, based on our world, here we're creating this world entity. And here we can now see we are adding all these sprites and all these values over here. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to scan the memory for an existing world object. There should be only one available. And then we have to use this within the onChoose method to call this static function with our world object. Yes. This is how we can create a player in our world. Let's do this. So therefore, let's open the Visual Studio Code file. And we're putting this on the right. So we can close this one. We save this file. Okay. So once again, in java.perform, and I have to enable JavaScript. Okay, then our anonymous function. And here we are now using java.choose to find this world instance. Okay, let's see this world. We can once again, hit the control button and click on this one. There we have it, not clicking, maybe just hovering it. Okay, not clicking, just hovering over this one. And then we can also open the declaration or implementation on this one. Let's call the declaration. So we have to release this control button right now and then we can click. It's not that intuitive right now, but yeah, it's super handy. So this is our world object. Okay, we are looking for this one. All right, back to this one over here. Now let's see. Here we have to provide our callbacks. So we've got this onMatch anonymous function. Here we're having our world instance. And there we have it. Okay, now let's see. This one is a static method, and this static method is within this class, entity factory. So to call static method in Java, we have to use it in the following way. The class and then simply dot method name. This is how we can call a static method in Java, and it's exactly the same in Frida. So what we need to get is the class reference, and then we can simply use this class reference to call the method name. Let's do this. So let's fetch the So let's fetch the entity factory class reference, hard word. All right, let's do this. This is within services dot, and then we have it over here. Maybe let's put this more on the right. Can we do this? No. Then let's keep this in foreground. Okay, so then we are not jumping all the time around. Okay, here we have it right now. Nice. Now we're having this class reference. To call the static method, we simply can use this exactly like we have seen this in the comment over here. So class reference dot and then the method name, create player. And here we now need to provide our instance, this world instance. Yes, and this should create a new player. I mean, here we're having a return value over here, an entity, but we are not doing anything with this one right now. All we want to do is we want to call this static method. All right? Okay, let's see if this one over here works out. So let's remove all these spaces. Okay, and now also let's comment this real quick. I'm searching the memory for world instances. If we find one, getting the reference of the entity factory class. I'm not sure if I have written this correctly. Let's do it this way. And here we are now calling the static method of the entity factory class with our instance as parameter, world instance. Okay, looks good. Let's try this out. New terminal. Let's keep this in foreground. And now we need to start the Frida server first. So let's see if it's already running. I guess ps-a shows everything. Yes. So here we can now look for Frida. No process, so Frida is not running. And therefore, within data local temp, we can start this one. Okay, this one has been started. Then a new terminal. This one. And here we're getting back our smartphone screen. Frida's running behind the smartphone. There we have it. All right. And now let's also see. I mean, this time we do not need an ADB logcat output to observe or something like this, because we can definitely see if we're creating a new player object. Maybe let's go back to this one over here. So yes, I got a little bit lazy on this one. Sorry for this. Let's also finish this with the onComplete. onComplete function. Let's print it out. Send. We are done scanning. And maybe let's also print it over here, how many instances we have of this world. Because we could also have multiple instances, and then we have to figure out how we could deal with this one. We are now assuming that's only one available right now. And this might bug us later on. Okay, I see a typo over here, so I'm not sure what's going on right now. Okay, so over here, let's print out some debug statement. Found world instance. Alrighty. Now we save this under add player. All right, and now we can use this. So let's start the application. Not this one. This one over here. Okay, we resume because adding this player without having a game makes absolutely no sense. Let's put this in foreground. Okay, we can click start. And now I'm applying this code into our Frida terminal over here. So let's see, I'm doing this in 3, 2, 1, it crashes. And once again, that's unfortunate. So this is regarding to our java.choose with our application over here. Therefore, let's try if our script works on our virtual machine. If this is the case, then we know our Frida script works perfectly. And if not, then we have to investigate it. Okay, let's do this. Okay, so the Java virtual machine should be up and running. Let's see. We open a new terminal. And now we're making an ADB connection to this one. Yes, nice. Let's get the screen. And let's organize these windows real quick. Okay, this time it was a little bit easier. Here we're having our Frida terminal. Here we're having our game later on, and this is our script. Let's keep the Frida terminal in foreground. Okay, now we have them organized. Let's see, we start this application once again via Frida, and this time we can see the Frida server is not being running. So one last terminal, ADB shell, data local temp, starting this Frida server. All right, now we can start it. There it should appear in a few seconds. There we have it. We resume this game. Okay, we click on level 8. I copy the script. I paste it in here, and now in 3, 2, 1. Okay, maybe I have to. Let's create some room over here. I mean, we are level 8, so this game has become ridiculous hard right now. So there we go. Okay, we are creating hopefully a new player object in 3, 2, 1. There we go. Now we're having 2 players over here. Amazing. And let's do it once again. Okay. Do we have an additional one? I mean, we could search the memory for this one, but I can tell you, yes, we are having one. We can observe this on the player shot. So it has become a little bit faster, and if we're adding a new one, we can see this player shot will become even more faster the more objects we are creating. So now we are having a rapid fire over here. Now there are a lot of questions. The first thing is, if you're getting hit, what happens? Let's see. All right, we can see the game is over because we have lost all player objects over here at once. This means we are creating some player objects, and those lives over here, now they count. If all 5 player objects get hit, then we are losing at all 5 lives and the game will be over. This absolutely depends on the game itself, so how it's being programmed, or how we are hooking and interacting with this game. Okay, but so far it's absolutely amazing. We can also see there's only one world instance available here. So we are adding all these players now on this world instance. Okay, so now let's switch back to the slides and let's do a quick recap on this one. Okay, so here we are back on the slides. Let's recap what we have done. We have identified the static method createPlayer. But this method requires an existing object, an instance, this world instance. So therefore we cannot simply create a new one. We have to find the existing one and provide this as a parameter to create our new player also on our screen. The things we need to do is we need to scan the application memory to find the existing world instance. And then we have to apply this existing instance as a parameter to our static method createPlayer over here. This will create a real player in our mobile game over here. The nice thing about this one is having the static method, because this one doesn't require an object. We can simply use the class name and then the method name and providing the existing instance. This raises the question, what do we do if we're having multiple instances? Let's say we've got this world instance, this existing world instance, and we need to provide this as a parameter to an existing instance, to another existing instance. Therefore, we would have to use java.choose 2 times. Or we can do a different approach. Okay, let's also talk about this case right now. But I mean, it's not really related to Frida. Okay, a little bit, but it's more related to programming itself. Nevertheless, let's do this real quick. So let's say we've got a boss instance, and this boss instance has a method dropItem. This method is now requiring another object, this item object. So how can we do this? Well, first we have to search for those items. instances. And we can do this in the following way. On the left, we can see we are using once again Java perform, and this time we are creating a new array. This array will be used later. So first, once again, we are using Java choose and we are searching for item instances in our application. Okay, if we find one, then we store them right now in this array. So we store this address of this item in our array. And by having them in this array, we can then reuse them in our Frida code later on. So let's say we've got our boss over here. So we are searching for those boss instances over here. And now if we find one, we can now iterate over our array, so our object array, and then we can reuse those items in our boss method. For example, this drop item. Okay, so once again, let's recap this over here. On the left, we are searching for those item instances and we are creating a new array. Every time we find an item instance, we push this into our array, like here. Okay, so now we've got 3 item instances in our array. Now, if we want to call the instance boss drop item method, we have to provide those existing instances, but we have already saved them into our array. So we can simply reuse them over here, and then we can simply provide an existing instance into another instance method. Alrighty? Okay. In Frida, we have to deal with global variables, but you will find all this information in the cheat sheet. So please have a look into this one. And of course, in case of any questions, feel free to drop me a message underneath this video. I'm super happy to receive some feedback. Alrighty? Okay. Otherwise, this is all for this video right now, and I'm really looking forward to see you in the next one.